If you are making minimum wage or a low wage in general and spending money on any of these 13 things, it is destroying your financial life. Hey guys, how's it going, and thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money. Please don't forget to subscribe. So we're going to be talking about some things that we cannot afford when we're not making a lot of money yet. So let's just dive right in. We're going over 13 things. So the first thing is a car. Now when I'm saying a car, I'm talking like an expensive or a luxury car. We don't really have that luxury yet because we're making a low amount of money. It's disgusting because the average car payment is $500 a month. I don't know about you guys, but starting at McDonald's, I was really excited when I finally got to just $100 for a paycheck. Now, yes, if you do have a job, you actually have to drive there. I'm not saying you shouldn't have any type of vehicle. I mean, you could walk or take a scooter or a moped or a bike, no, whatever you're really into. But a luxury car is something that I think in general is a waste of money because it's a depreciating asset, and all it does is take you from point A to point B. What are you going to worry about? People, what they think of you? That will hold you back your entire life. If you worry about what other people think of you, I will always bring this example up. I used to work in a bank. Chick pulls up in a what is that thing? A Cadillac Escalade, one of those big trucks, you know, thinking all hot and rich and everything like that. Look at her bank account. She's struggling to keep $100. Is it worth it? This could also include Uber or Lyft. So, you know, if you're like out on the town drinking and everything, and you're like using some type of taxi service, those costs add up real quick. Number two, which is probably the thing that I despise most of all, is the lottery. If you're buying lottery tickets, you're essentially wasting your money. I'm a strong believer that the lottery is kind of like a tax on the poor. Like, it's false hope. You're trying to buy a lottery ticket hoping for millions, and you'll never win. Like, people play their entire life. When was the last time you bought a lottery ticket? Let me know in the comments below. And I just changed my mind. The third one is something that I despise completely, which is cigarettes. And you could kind of lump drugs into it as well. But cigarettes is like the most pointless thing I could ever imagine, I feel like. Like, it's not good for your health. We know that now. Like, back then, it was like a thing. Like, it was cool. Everyone was doing it. Fine. But now, it's like, it's strange when you see someone smoking. Now, I don't know how it feels, but my dad used to. And he actually he quit cold turkey. He said it was difficult. He replaced playing drums and chewing gum instead of smoking. But it's a disgusting habit. You're just funneling so much money into it. At gas stations, I'm seeing like $10 a pack. If you have like a pack a day, that's $70 a week. That's like hundreds and thousands. No! Number 4 thing that we can't afford if we're on low income is party drinking. Now, if you want to have like a little whatever, I don't really drink at all. But you know, if you want to have a drink, fine. But if you're having like 2, 3, 4, 5 plus, like a night, and you do that, you know, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday afternoon or something like that, that adds up. Again, similar to cigarettes. It's costing you what? $5, $10 a drink, multiply that, hundreds, thousands, no! Number 5 thing that we cannot necessarily afford, we could be a little lenient here, however, this is fancy vacations. Now, I'm a believer in living your life, you know, money isn't everything, enjoy it while you can. However, if you have $1,000, you can't go to Italy spending $5,000, you know what I'm saying? Leave the gun, take the cannolis. But I could never understand like spring break going to like Cancun, which probably isn't cheap, and people are like broke with student loans. I don't know how that happens. Like, you can't go to these fancy places. So if you want to go on to like a less expensive one, you could still enjoy yourself, you could still be happy. just don't spend so much. And plus, if you save up throughout your life and actually go to places when you could afford it, the place is still gonna be there. Number 6, which is actually very concerning right now, like in this current time, generation, whatever you like to call it, which is buying a house. Now, I understand that, like, that's everyone's end goal. You would love to own a property, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing whatsoever. However, if you cannot afford it, it actually becomes even worse, because then you're struggling to pay that mortgage, and then you're struggling to even live in any other way. Is it really worth it? That's something where you have to build up some money where you can afford it, and then you could actually enjoy your house. I said it's concerning because I know a lot of people have student loans, $1.6 trillion in total. People don't have that type of money to have a down payment for an actual house. So I think a lot of people are going to start to get into renting. And the short-term renting might not be so bad if you actually save that money. However, you know, if you're staying there for a long period of time, you're essentially throwing your money away. If you have any type of student loans or any large amount of debt, are you renting, planning on buying? I think this is really interesting. Let me know. Number 7, which is kind of just a pet peeve of mine, which is paying for fast shipping. So like if you want to get a delivery like next day for an extra, I don't even know, like $20, why? Like chances are it's probably not something like you need it right away. I mean, if you do need it, then by all means, whatever. But if you don't, you could wait like a couple days, save a few bucks. I mean, you know what happens when I have like just standard shipping with like Amazon, I still end up getting it in like just a few days. It's not a huge difference. Number 8 thing that we necessarily cannot afford on a minimum wage, which would be going to restaurants often. And I'll put often in there. It's alright if you want to go out every so often, that's fine. However, if you're doing that for every meal, every single, you know, throughout the weekend, throughout the week even, that's a lot. Like I'm even noticing prices for food are increasing, like a good amount. I remember like $10 used to be kind of normal. Things aren't $10 anymore. They're like probably $12+ dollars. And fun fact for it, because I know people who's like, oh, $2 extra, that's not a big deal. Well, technically, you want me to get technical on you? $2 increase from $10 is a 20% increase. Your raise is probably no much more than 3%. So food is increasing more than your wage. That's not good. Can't sustain it. While we're on this roll, going on to number 9, still sticking with the food idea, but food delivery. I paid for it like once and I regretted it just because I paid for it. Now, there are like food delivery people that work their butt off and they deserve that money. However, you could just pick it up or just go there. It's a few extra dollars, and especially if you're doing it very often, that's kind of wasting money. Just get up your butt and go to the place. Get that Uber Eats out of here. Number 10, which would be expensive concerts. I put the word expensive in there because concerts are always fun. You know, it's a great thing to actually live your life a little bit. Again, I understand. However, when you're spending a ridiculous amount, especially usually the bigger the artist or band or musician, the more money the tickets are, which is kind of why I like smaller bands. And if you're willing to save a few bucks, I actually have a link in the description you could check out. It's a website called SeatGeek. You could get a few bucks off if you go through that link. I do believe I get something from that, but it really does help you guys out because it does show you the best prices for the tickets. I usually use them for concerts, and they're great. I definitely recommend them. Now, the last 3 are kind of philanthropic. I think the word is probably not, but number 11, which is name brands. They're like double, triple the price for no reason. That's kind of it, and that's for like anything. That could go from like soap to like cars, like luxury things. And it's just, and sometimes the luxury stuff is actually worse than like normal things. Quickly moving ahead to number, 12 is convenience. A lot of us, especially in this day and age, are paying for convenience. Pre-prepped things, you're paying a little extra so it gets to you quicker. This could be like shipping or food related, or even hiring someone else to do something really simple for you. If you take a little bit out of your day to do it yourself, you could actually save a good amount of money that way. And last but not least, which is very, very, very important, that I don't think a lot of people mention at all, which something that we cannot afford to lose, especially if you're making minimum wage, low income. We're assuming we're probably on the younger side, hopefully. So when we're on the younger side, we have time. We cannot waste time, guys. We have lives to live, and we could use that time for great things, to do things that we actually want to do, help others, and even saving our money so compound interest could grow it for us. You know, if you talk to elderly people, they regret how they use their time. So make sure you use it correctly. So these things are definitely killing your saving habits. Now, yes, I completely understand that money isn't everything, and I agree with that. However, you do need money for everything, including your basic needs. And also, just because we cannot afford these things doesn't mean for like the rest of our life we can't afford them. I mean, not with like cigarettes and lottery. I feel like those are always not gonna be worth it. It doesn't matter how much money you have. However, this should start making you think what you need to do to better yourself, to move forward so that you can afford these things. This is just the start, especially if you're on the younger side, first job, minimum wage, or just a low income in general. This is your first stepping stone, and I have a bunch of videos going over how to actually save money even with that low income. You could save thousands, if not tens of thousands, if we do it the right way. I'll leave links in the description just for you. In wrapping up, I believe money is extremely important. It's not necessarily everything. However, everything does revolve around it. That's why we have to focus on it, whether you'd like to or not. And imagine this, saving money makes you have money later on. It's an amazing concept. So hopefully that gets your mind rolling a little bit. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. What would you say you cannot afford right now? Can't get that Lamborghini, whatever is on your mind. And more importantly, what would you like to afford in the future? So thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.